67 years old. 32 years of working, paying taxes, paying into the system, and in less than 12 months, he lost $18,000. Not because of a scam, not because someone stole from him, because of a mistake he made with Medicare that almost nobody warned him about. And the worst part? By the time he found out, it was too late to fix it. If you are on Medicare right now, or if you're getting close to 65, this video could save you a lot of money. I'm not exaggerating. Stay with me. His name was Robert. He worked as a contractor for most of his adult life. Self-employed, no employer-sponsored health plan, just him and his business. When he turned 65, he thought he understood Medicare well enough. He signed up for Part A, the hospital coverage, because it was free. But he looked at Part B, the outpatient coverage, and he saw that premium, $170 a month. And he thought to himself, I'm healthy. I don't need doctors every week. I'll wait a little longer before I start paying that. That decision, that one decision, ended up costing him far more than he ever imagined. Now here's what most people don't know. Medicare has a rule, a very specific, very expensive rule. And it applies whether you know about it or not. When you turn 65, you have a window to sign up for Medicare Part B. That window is called the initial enrollment period, and it lasts 7 months. 3 months before your birthday month, and 3 months after. If you miss that window and you don't have a specific valid reason that the government accepts, you get hit with a late enrollment penalty. Here's where it gets painful. That penalty is not a one-time fee. It is 10% added to your Part B premium, permanently, for every 12 months you went without Part B coverage. Robert waited 2 full years before he finally signed up. That's 2 times 10%. A 20% increase on his Part B premium for the rest of his life. And Medicare premiums go up every year, so that 20% penalty grows with them. When you do the math across a decade or more of retirement, you are looking at thousands and thousands of dollars, money that comes straight out of your fixed income every single month until the day you die. That is not a small mistake. That is the kind of mistake that changes what your retirement looks like. Here's the part of Robert's story that most people don't see coming. During those 2 years without Part B, Robert had a routine procedure. Nothing dramatic, a colonoscopy and a follow-up with a specialist. Those are outpatient services. They are covered under Part B. But Robert didn't have Part B yet, so he paid completely out of pocket. Thousands of dollars in medical bills he thought he would never have because he was, quote, healthy. And then, and this is the part that really hurts, he had a small health issue that required physical therapy. 6 sessions, outpatient care, again, no Part B, again, out of pocket. By the time he signed up for Part B and added up everything he had spent, the penalties he would now pay forever, plus the medical bills he paid directly, the total was over $18,000. $18,000 from one decision he made in about 5 minutes without understanding the full consequences. Now, I want you to understand something. Robert was not careless. He was not irresponsible. He was a smart man who ran his own business for decades. He just didn't have the right information at the right time. And that is exactly the problem with Medicare. The system is complicated, and nobody sits you down and explains it clearly. You get a letter in the mail. You go to a website that feels like reading a legal document. Or you call a number and get put on hold for 45 minutes. So people make decisions based on incomplete information. They think they're being smart, saving money on a monthly premium, and they walk directly into a financial trap they didn't even know existed. The Medicare late enrollment penalty for Part B is one of the most damaging and one of the most avoidable financial mistakes a person can make heading into retirement. And it happens every single year to people all across this country. Now, before you start worrying, let me give you the good news too. Because there is a legitimate way to delay Part B without getting penalized, and a lot of people don't know about this either. If you are still working at 65 and your employer has 20 or more employees, and you are covered under your employer's group health plan, you can delay Medicare Part B without any penalty. When you eventually retire or lose that employer coverage, you get a special enrollment period. You have 8 months from the date you stop working or lose coverage to sign up for Part B, and you will not be penalized. But here is where people trip up, and this is critical. If you are retired and you have coverage through a former employer's retiree plan, or through your spouse's employer, or through a marketplace plan, that does not count as creditable coverage under Medicare's rules. In most of those situations, you still need to sign up for Part B during your initial enrollment period, or you will face that penalty. The rules around what counts as a valid reason to delay and what doesn't, that is where people get confused. And that confusion is expensive. So what does this mean for you? Whether you are 63, 65, or already on Medicare, there are things you need to do, or check, right now. First, if you are approaching 65, mark your calendar. Know exactly when your initial enrollment period starts and ends. Do not assume you have more time than you do. Do not wait until you feel like you need the coverage. Sign up on time. Second, if you are still working and you have employer coverage, talk to your HR department and confirm, in writing, that your plan qualifies as creditable coverage under Medicare rules. Don't assume. Get confirmation. Third, if you already missed your window and you're not sure where you stand, don't guess. Talk to a Medicare specialist. There are licensed counselors who help people navigate this at no cost. Your state health insurance assistance program, known as SHIP, provides free one-on-one Medicare counseling. These are real people who can look at your specific situation and tell you exactly what your options are. And fourth, and I say this because I mean it, please don't try to figure all of this out alone based on what a friend told you or something you half read online. The stakes are too high and the rules are too specific. Robert told his story to a Medicare counselor about a year after he signed up for Part B. He said the thing that bothered him most wasn't even the money. It was knowing that he could have avoided the whole thing if someone had just explained it to him clearly before he made the decision. That's exactly why this channel exists. Not to sell you anything, not to push you toward a specific plan, just to make sure you have the information you need before it's too late to use it. If this video helped you understand something you didn't know before, please share it with someone you know who is approaching Medicare age. It could genuinely make a difference in their financial life. And if you have questions about your own situation, drop them in the comments. I read every single one. The next video covers Medicare Advantage versus Medigap, two completely different ways to fill the gaps in original Medicare, and choosing the wrong one can cost you thousands. You don't want to miss that one.